In Uganda's Kasese district, the majestic beauty of the Rwenzori Mountains hides a deepening tragedy. Climate change is no longer a distant threat, it's an ongoing humanitarian crisis. Relentless floods have turned thriving villages into ghost towns, displacing thousands and stripping them of their right to a safe home, clean water, and basic health care. This is the story of human rights violations faced by displaced communities forced into indefinite exile at Mohokya displacement camp.
We are facing these issues because women are not involved. But we believe if women are involved in making decisions, in planning policies in regard with climate adaptation, it would help us empower them, for them to implement these policies. We will be able to do easy awareness, have a voice, be inclusive in making these policies. Since they are the key people that are usually affected, we believe if they are included in making these policies, when these disasters come, they will be the first people to respond.
Originally established as a temporary settlement site, Mohokya now shelters over 1,000 people from across Kasese families uprooted from Maliba, Kisika, Kyarumba, Kilembe, Kanyangeya, Karusandara, Nyamambuka, and other flood-ravaged areas. Basic services are collapsing under the strain. One water point serves more than 1,000 people. There's no healthcare facility within the camp. The nearest Mohokya Health Center 3 is overwhelmed.
This comes as a result of poor sanitation in these camps, where women are being exposed to diseases like UTI and Candida, among others.
Residents endure poor sanitation, recurring disease outbreaks, and chronic malnutrition. Their right to life and dignity hangs in the balance. In recent months, at least 10 people have died in the camp, buried not in their ancestral lands, but in borrowed graves belonging to relatives and friends, with the hope that once resettled, their bodies can be exhumed and laid to rest on permanent land.
I sympathize with the people who are in the camp, because what I know, they have been there for almost 5 years. And as nature is, I know they are losing people. I don't know where they are burying when they lose a family member, which I think is a very big problem. The government, they need to see and find a solution to these people, because it does not make sense. Maybe someone loses his relative, or he hires why he's burying for today. Then after 2 to 3 days, again, you're saying you're exhuming the body, so you're transferring it to where maybe government will have vacated him or her land. It would have been better if maybe government came up very clearly and said, please, the land we bought to you is not there. So you wait, you be patient, we are going to buy you another piece of land, maybe somewhere.
Mohokya was never meant to become home. Yet 5 years later, the promise of refuge remains unfulfilled. Government officials like Kasese District Principal Planner Alex Masereka acknowledge the crisis and insist that resettlement plans are underway.
There is no other reason, just because of bureaucracy, and normally government bodies suffer bureaucracy.
They shouldn't have been here. They would have been relocated long time ago.
But bureaucratic delays, corruption, and political interference have stalled the progress.
It is already in plan that those people will be shifted either way.
They are not telling people when the camp, the right information, when they will be leaving the camp, Mohokya, and where they would be taking them, because they have not come out clear to tell them that we bought you land which is in Winanole. So they are just there still playing games. We cannot actually tell when those people would be moved out of the camp.
Efforts to secure land for permanent relocation were derailed when, after land was identified, an individual surfaced claiming ownership with a private land title, triggering disputes, legal battles, and allegations of land grabbing.
So up to now, government has never come out clearly to explain actually who sold it to them and why that particular piece of land is situated, and actually even showing the boundaries. But what we know as a leader, I personally, as a chairperson L1, I know they bought land through dubious means.
When they are talking about settling us, it's like I would say, it's like the way the neighbor, when you have your neighbor who is complicated, When your son or your daughter go and visit the neighbor when they are drinking porridge, either they are eating fish, they just get the soup, they pass it on the cloth of the baby. And when you hear the smell, then she can tell you, and at the end of the day, you may not give your son food thinking that have eaten from the neighborhood.
As displaced families languish in uncertainty, opportunistic actors have turned the crisis into a business, exploiting their suffering for personal gain.
Those so-called technocrats, the technical people, they are the ones with the problem. Because if they were not, they would not have the problem, they would have done the needful.
With these realities, we embarked on a journey to Mohokya internal displacement camp to uncover the untold stories of resilience, betrayal, and the urgent call for climate and human rights justice. Mohokya camp, originally set up for temporary displacement, is now a permanent home for over 1,000 people. With no health care, limited water, and worsening food insecurity, life here is a daily battle for survival.
It's not as good as you may think, as either the government may think. Because our children, they told us that we are going to stay here only for 1 year and 6 months. But now it's 5 years down the road. Then our question is, are we Ugandans or are we foreigners? Yet we have the national IDs. We are born of Uganda, we have grown up in Uganda, we have gray hair in Uganda, but they are treating us as if we are foreigners.
Medias Mohiro's home and 2 hectares of oranges and eucalyptus trees were washed away. Her teenage daughter was impregnated shortly after arriving in the camp.
Ama problem enga kuna nabawire abana nerimo basata masata mate omuma bamamutweka
hatula hano hali umwese munene ukabana kusangubera butana buhangwa ukabana makuru ni anamwe etu abashakuru nabakekuru banamu kekerezia banonde baheka bukure beto hanga bwira hano amakuru 12 habo umwese munene na iribya nabe akenda kurukwa mubere. Echendre iwa bananga bana betu omwana ine rumwe sukuru narini atweko eri amutweka ini abinu mwana we Muhokya kuti obundiri mwana owondo we kambo narimwe abulane charakol.
Once a successful butcher, Bawite now struggles to feed and educate his 9 children. Healthcare discrimination and trauma haunt the camp.
Enga sahanu lyabiri atokabiro trovyayi nabyanga otema hawiri somisha bana bayi ari sahanu lyabiri lakibata soma nabyanga wete eri bindinga gali hi business na ina byahunga omundu ndeke byabiri lema nabyanga wete eri binde ina tisawura eri ndi truck na yeri nangana atsika ko mundu wayi kutsinja na maholo kusangwa mtu aenda tukalumata unisi tuwete hando hatu chiwete tubulikira tukabohatisha erurange kanyangeye iso chiwete hande ha wete na runabyenga wote mahawiri bunda ngende sabyanga na mukola na ina natunga cyaro bitese heno singa chiwete cyaro cyenanga bunda nanga bisingiramu kusangwa hano habiritra ebirengekanyo byayi
uwa fwerwe bendu iwe hamano bulwere bwo murume eri college eri rwara neryo obwongo bwawe bukabisa ibunangiri ngala nabana ubalisaye urangira ngabamalia bati ngabamasoma bati ngabamambala bati omuntu neryo kabisa listed.
But when there's no food, I have to see all angles to see that I have to go to Rukoki to ask for a food, to make a requisition, coming back, all that it is money.
Girls here face sexual exploitation.
That way. For them, they prefer ampadeyes is sukari, and the child can drop out from primary 6, and the parent is happy with it because they are bringing for him sugar or a fish.
Gender-based violence comes in as a result where women face it in overcrowded shelters, having misunderstandings with their partners in these crowded shelters. They are also facing sexual harassment, which comes in as a result of exchange of sex for fish.
This has led to an increase in gender-based violence, like domestic violence, sexual abuse, and then another issue is that the land allocated to the displaced persons is limited, in that they are given a small piece of land on which they are to sustain their livelihood and settlement. You'll find that when you visit the IDP camp in Mohokya, most settlements, most families have built on this small piece of land and also cultivating.
Fishermen trade fish for sex. Families have no land, no collateral, no escape. Now, a government plan to buy land for resettlement collapsed because the land was already occupied. Residents call it a scam. Masareka urges patience, citing bureaucratic delays in land acquisition. But patience is running out.
Honestly, if you want the specifics of the procurement, you will have to go to OPM and find out. But for us as a district, we are on the waiting end. We wait to see, we continue to organize our people, we continue to counsel them to wait, and that is the best we can do.
They made an advert in 2021 of buying a land, but at the end of it all, the land that they bought, it's like it was wastage of resources. It has people who are staying on it, and those people are the ones that are still on that land. And for us, we are here. We are still waiting. When we ask you wait, wait and wait and wait, we don't know when.
But as far as we as leaders, we are not aware of where that particular piece of land was procured and who sold it to them exactly. What you know, because we were not consulted. When they tried to consult us, of course we told them we didn't know the sellers. So they went ahead and procured land from people who do not know. Between the OPM office and at the district level, they forged the land title. That's what I can say about it. Because I have gone to Kampala several times. I've been to Entebbe almost 3 times. I have been to Ministry of Lands more than 2 times. I've been to EMZO, that is Fort Portal Regional Land Offices. The land title which they claim to have come with is not actually reflected anywhere.
If we didn't have the challenge with the land that the office of the Prime Minister bought has some contention that they've been trying to handle and fix it. But now I want to expedite that process and look for option B, because we can't keep these people here. I have seen the situation of the women, I've seen the situation of the children.
The government should come up with pre-allocated land where it knows that there is land that is controlled by government. So in case of any challenges in CECIC, it would allocate land to resettle these people.
Since 2020, only the United Nations International Children's Efforts Fund, UNICEF, has provided soap, tarpaulins, and limited food. Families survive by digging other people's gardens for 5,000 shillings a day.
Neryo abasuhi bamahere ibakathebatheba nabakali bethu narama biri muhangiri here neryo omukali nyabisheta sakuwa kusanga omuntu ekira hano mamakatara ekambo twabiribona kutsibu bakakupimira bisandu 13 15 erisalo wunzo alumembyolo konza biro bebere imuwaluwunza kaya bakuhangu 5.
While leaders cite delays and promise solutions, for the thousands still waiting in limbo, such words are all too familiar and no longer enough. The people of Mohokya have waited 5 years for justice, for land, for peace. Their memories are soaked, their dreams displaced, but their spirit endures.
Chaplain that government brings, it's only 1 month when it is already torn. But we have the chaplain that maybe the organization like Red Cross brings in, those ones are more stronger than those ones that the government brings. For them, the government brings the quantity, not the quality. And the example is even there. You see, that's those ones, the blue one, that's the government. You see the way it is. But now this one was brought in by an organization. You see the way strong it is. So that's why I'm talking of. For them, they bring here quantity, not a quality. And sanitation and hygiene is very poor. At this time, if you go to that toilet, that moblet, you may vomit.
Tunahakuhine hosi aya government betu kana ikanu kwa hosi umairu tukaru makambo ibu amusahara mabatsi kandi batubwera bati twe akambo sebatongera omubatsi ngo kwa bandu abali makambo nero butuko obunene hatia tulimukolisha na bitu bya chikonzo isuo kuba kabipimiwa chamuko butu hatia na maroli chikuba na maatra mu muyembe ngakolisha bete ngelamu
Chandwara sikabya sinene abana eribihawumerere twamatunga mu ebizibu by'abana eributanganako kusangwa tuli mu bufundafundane wasamalera abana nesukuru y'amabirikureki y'amabiri balemele ife yatulemu eyo.
Of the 1,375 people in the camp, 753 are women, while 634 are men. Males from 0 to 5 years are 162, while females the same age are 132. Males from 6 to 12 years are 26, while females the same age are 176. Males from 13 years to 17 years are 19, while females the same age are 129. Men from 18 to 25 years are 119, while women the same age are 145. Men 46 years and above are 52, while women the same age are 71.
Government should develop a program on climate-induced development. By developing a program on climate-induced displacement, it is able to cater for the rise in any displacement in Kasese. In case there is an issue of floods, in case there is an issue of land, government is able to cater for such issues in advance because it has developed a program and policy that will help it in advance should such cases arise.